Hey, it's me, Bob33, and this is my versus video between Mario Kart 8 for the Nintendo Wii U and Sonic and All-Star Racing Transform, also for the Wii U. Now, I noticed I've been behind on my Sonic Celebration year, and I also hasn't been keeping up with reviewing all the new games that recently came out, so I decided to hit two birds with one stone by doing another versus review. I can't believe it's been 2 years since my last Versus review. Last one being Sonic and the Secret Ring vs. Sonic and the Black Knight, and that's one of my popular video on my Brip account. So I decided to give this one a try. This time with two of my favorite racing games. Now the way I'm gonna do this is, well, last time I separated by categories. I'm gonna try to do the same thing, but I I'm not gonna list which one in which category. I'm just gonna list out the positive, negative, and give out my decision of which game is better in my opinion at the end of the video. With that being said, let's get started. Let's talk about the graphics first. Now, this has got to be the best looking Mario game to date, even better than Super Mario 3D World. I don't know about the rest of you, but I prefer imaginative, colorful graphics rather than the realistic graphics that, well, at least most gamers seems to be concerned about, especially Call of Duty fans. I don't know, even if this isn't technically next gen, I'm really more impressed with these graphics than the ones on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So, so much props to Mario Kart 8. Sonic and All-Star Racing Transform is also pretty bright and colorful, and considering this is a multi-platform game, which is also being developed for the PS3 and 360, I assume that Sega didn't really take full advantage of the Wii U hardware. So imagine if this was exclusive and Sega did take full advantage of the hardware. So this is pretty impressive for a launch title. Now for the character side, I got positive and negatives, mostly negatives. With Mario, pretty good choice. I mean, the addition of the Koopa Kids is pretty nice, but I don't know if your roster consists a good chunk of baby version of your characters or metal version of your characters. You may want to redo your watches, especially if you cut some good characters like Drybones, Birdo, and even freaking Diddy Kong. Come on, that was my favorite character. Sonic and All-Star Transform is also not safe from this as well. Now granted they did add some great characters like Nice and Vice from Skies of Arcadia, but unfortunately they also cut Billy Hatcher and Ryu from Shenmue. Mario Kart 8 has 32 tracks in total, 16 brand new ones and 16 retro remakes. Now all these tracks are fantastic, but the one that really stands out the most are the retro remakes. Not only does it have a great graphical reskin, but Nintendo also adjusts some of the tracks to make great use of the anti-gravity mode. That part I will talk a little bit later on in the video. Sonic and All-Star Transform has 21 tracks, but 17 are brand new, while 4 is from the prequel racing game. Now what's unique about the tracks in this game is that in some of the tracks, it will actually transform in the final lap, allowing you to take different directions and sometimes even different vehicles. I'm not sure how many games actually does this, but I really wish to see it more in racing games more often. Both games has excellent controls, but the one thing I'll really focus on is the new feature that they added. For Mario Kart 8 is the anti-gravity mode, which pretty much defies gravity. Just like in Super Mario Galaxy, of course you still have to be on the track. But I think this mode, for the most part, the only thing it benefits is making the track very unique and incredible for the developers to, play around with, which isn't a bad thing. Does it add anything new to the game? Well, not a big way, but it's definitely a feature I want to see in every installment of the Mario Kart series. But for the most part, I just think it's a nice feature, and that's about it. Now, what's unique about All-Star Racing Transform is that you be able to turn into a car, a plane, or a boat in certain areas. Now, when I first saw this, it reminds me a bit of Diddy Kong Racing, while for other people, it reminds them of Mario Kart 7 with the parachute and the propeller, which I personally didn't see, but then again, Diddy Kong Racing is one of my favorite games. I think the only negative thing about this is that you're restricted in your transformation. You can only transform into this certain area of the track. And hopefully, if Sega decide to do this again, they could be a little bit more creative on there, like maybe cars versus planes or boats. Kind of like in Diddy Kong Racing. Now, as for game modes, Mario still got the basic Grand Prix time trial, 50 Cs, 100 Cs, yada yada yada. Sonic and All-Star Racing Transform, on the other hand, not only has a Grand Prix mode, but a World Tour mode. And in that, you can complete varieties of missions. Granted, some of them are simple as race to the finish, or pretty much fly through all the rings, while other ones are pretty fun, like the battle mode to destroy all the characters, and even destroying a tank. That's one thing I wish Mario Kart would, pretty much take notes on, and hopefully they add something like that in the next installment, or at least add a double dash mode. In my opinion, I think Sonic and All-Star Racing Transform is the better game. Now, keep in mind, I do recommend both games. They're both great, and they're both worth adding to your collection. But I feel like Sonic put all the stop, adding lots of modes that not only makes a great multiplayer game, but also a pretty decent single player game as well. While Mario Kart 8 did something unique with the anti-gravity mode, I still feel like it's the same Mario Kart, which isn't a bad thing, keep in mind. But I feel like it's time for them to step it up and try something new. Maybe bring back Double Dash if they want to. But for the most part, I think Sonic and All-Star Racing Transform is the overall better game. If you disagree, feel free to leave a comment and state your opinion. I'd love to hear it. And remember to like and subscribe. This is me, Bob33, and I catch you guys later.